modern day masculine man, take one.
What makes a modern day masculine man? When you drink your liquor straight, a modern day masculine man. I pay all the bills and I tells my woman the truth. Got my shit together, do what I wanna do, say what I wanna say. I won't break, you are not me, and I am not you. I kept it real, so now I can do what I wanna do. Modern masculine man. Welcome to Man School.
Welcome to the Modern Masculine Man Podcast, Mitch. Woo!
What up, what up, what up, what up? How y'all doing, family? This is a new Wednesday, new day, new way, new view, new you. And I'm tuned in, tapped in, turned on with my guest co-host, the lovely Miss Carla Nicole. I think she just got her hair done. She glowing tonight, or she changed the light and something going on special tonight. But how your week? Let's talk. How your week been so far?
It's been wonderful. Listen, I've been so busy. You already know I'm always trying to create. So, I haven't stopped the creation since Monday. I've been on the grind. I'm getting ready to redesign our whole show. We're about to have something fabulous going on. So, I'm always up to something.
That's what's up. That's what's up. So can I get a shout out from the crowd? A yay, yay. If y'all hear our sound coming in good and clear. I've had a wonderful week. I had a great podcast yesterday with Trav. Had a great podcast yesterday with Chris. Overall, everything has just been going good.
Yes, sir. I was on both of them. I watched yesterday's too. I saw the book and said, "Okay, let's go."
Yeah. We trying to do some big things with the team. Mellow Miracles. Do we got good volume? What's up, Marlon Born Life with a Spoon? Let's get some. All our lovely locals that's always tuned in. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming we got volume. If we didn't, somebody would have said something.
Right.
So I'm excited about today's show because today's show, honestly, this is something that I have kind of not looked into. You know what I'm saying? I have mixed feelings about it. So I'm excited to see what's gonna go down today. So you let the people know what we're talking about today.
Welcome, everybody. So if you are not aware, I am Coach Carla Nicole. I am always up to something. Like I said, we are going to have the big reveal of our favorite guy on the planet, which is Mr. Javon. We are going to do his living soul reveal tonight. We are going to learn something about him. He's going to learn something about himself. And what is so awesome about the living soul numerology is that it's not like any other numerology. Let me tell you, I did my own personal living soul numerology and was astonished at just learning about me. So let me just give you a little quick, real simple way to understand.
Do your thing.
So we don't make it hard. So basically, first off, we are made of 4 living soul archetypes, okay? So just to make it easy, there's 4 living soul archetypes that we're made of, okay? And the first soul archetype is our moon archetype. Then we have a sun archetype. Then we have an earth archetype. And then we have our whole entire living soul archetype. So what's so unique about Javon's numbers, and he'll be able to give us some insight on what he finds out as we're learning about this, is we'll be able to do his gender energy profile. So what is so common, or I should say, we talk a lot about gender. We talk about male, female, and we all get caught up in, well, I'm more masculine or I'm more feminine, and We have our war upon each other about which gender we want to identify with.
Yeah.
Well, we never talk about our androgynous energy. Androgynous energy is powerful because it's neutral. A lot of times we don't realize how neutrality really impacts our life,
Mm-hmm.
our whole being, and we don't realize how much we have so much in our soul different energies besides male and female. And just because you are all masculine and we identify with our different stuff, like men want to be I'm an alpha male or I'm a beta and all this other stuff, that has absolutely nothing to do with anything over here in the living soul numerology, because you might find that some of your feminine energy, gender energy, has nothing to do with being homosexual or too soft. All of these prejudices that we seem to have when we look at different gender identities, we tend to get so cooped up and swooped up into trying to unidentify ourselves. I don't want to be that because I don't want to
Yeah, I
show
don't want to be that.
you
Yeah.
already know. Just like women, and we don't want to be too masculine. We don't want men to think that, so we're
And
gonna
some women want you to view them as
women want to
masculine.
be,
Like, I'm
yes.
masculine. I'd be like, you masculine?
That's
Where?
not attractive.
Where you masculine at? And then while we're on the subject, before we get into it, like you said, and then some women want to be identified as masculine, and some men want to identify as feminine. And I'd be like, how are you feminine, bro? You're just a man cosplaying as a girl. You're not feminine. There's nothing feminine about you. I'm not attracted to you. Now, say, for example, the way you look tonight talking, you look very feminine. No man looks like that. No man, you see what I'm saying?
Right.
No man looks like that. I don't know where these men who think they're feminine think that what are they acting like? And then I see a lot of women who think they're masculine, and I'm like, well, what are you acting like? Because I don't see regular men walking around hard all the time. Like I see the women that say they studs and they walk around with a strap on all the time, and they walk around with this bravado machismo attitude, and I'd be like, men don't really walk around acting like that. But before we get into it,
okay,
I just want to say, because my audience know me, I've never been really a person for let me give you my quick background for like astrology, numerology, astronomy, but none of that stuff, because I kind of just didn't know a lot about it. However, I read my horoscope one time, the Sagittarius, blah, blah, blah. And it just lined up so much with me. And I said, wow, I could see how a person could kind of use this as a guide for life. You know what I'm saying? Some people get up every day and be like, my horoscope says this, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
So as far as numbers are concerned, when I first met Chris, I used to tell her, she would ask me what time it is, and I would always say, I don't look at the clock. But when I do look at the clock, it's 1:11, 2:22, 3:33, 4:44, 5:55. It's 10:10, 11:11, 12:12. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I don't look at the clock, but when I look at the clock, it's always these numbers. And she would always be like, ha, ha, ha. So then I would start texting her 11:11, 10:10. And it would I would catch these numbers all day, like not consciously looking for them. And then she started doing it back. And it's something that she know about me, that I've always been into numbers. Like I always
love this.
see these double numbers.
You're gonna love it. This is what I love about you, is that you're open.
Yeah, that's why I'm explaining to you. So I will always see these double numbers and these triple numbers and license plates. I will see a license plate with TTT 1111, and it kind of became this game. Like for the first 2 years together, she could never see it. And I will always be like, it's because you're looking for it. I'm not looking for it. We could just be driving in the car, and I'd be like, look, that license plate's got 3 E's and 4 8's. And she would be like, why you always see it and I never see it? And I'm like, I'm never looking for it. So I'm excited to see what's going on, because I've always had this thing with numbers, but I never looked into like, well, what does this mean? Why am I seeing this? So I'm excited to see what this says and see what it say about me. So let's get into it. If there's no more you need to explain or whatever you need to explain, I'm ready to listen. Kind of this is kind of like a live
Wait till you see
living
it.
soul.
You're gonna enjoy this because I think you and I have a uniqueness. I was very much like you were. I wasn't into numerology. I mean, I was raised in the church, so we kind of have that sense of closed-mindedness, if you will, without being closed-minded. I mean, I knew I was a Capricorn. I knew there was certain things that did line up with my birth date. And so I got kind of comfortable with that. But I believe that sometimes when you just open your mind up and say, well, let me just see what this is going to show me, it maybe will show me something that I never knew. And now that I know that this is the living soul is a guidance system. So now that I know that, because I have a special needs grandson and because I do life coaching, I'm able to use the guidance system to help certain people to make certain decisions and be a little more intentional in their day. I'm not telling them to be dedicated or only use it and never nothing else, but I am advising them that, hey, look, according to the lineup of the numbers for you, this might be a good day to go ahead and work on getting that done, as an example. And it's been really beneficial to a lot of people.
So in short, so I can understand this, this can give me a guide, insight
Yes.
to my living soul path, which is kind of like a roadmap per se.
Yes.
Things I should be doing at certain times if I feel like it line up with me.
Yes.
That's pretty much saying.
And you can even hit me up. Hey, coach, listen, I'm thinking about doing something on date such and such. Do those numbers look good for me, or what do you think? I'll be like, give me a second, I'll hit you back and I'll go through it and energetically see if that lines up. So we can do things like that. Or, hey, me and Chris can't see eye to eye today. We're just not having a good time at all. We can't see eye to eye. Well, hold up. Let me see if your gravity pull with each other is off balance. All of this is powerful for us to be able to use to our benefit. And I mean, and it's really not to get you all caught up in being dedicated to it, but once you see the accuracy, once you see how you can use it to your advantage, you start to realize, man, if I'd have had this before, I would have made different choices, or I would have been able to guide my kids, or like you are. You're like a godfather to millions of children. If you would have had the living soul guidance system back then, you could have known what days to do certain things with certain children, all these things. So yeah, it's a lot.
Okay. And I will say this. I have always believed in frequency and rhythm. So I do believe in the rhythm and frequency of astronomy, the stars, the skies. I do believe, I grew up on a farm. I watched my grandparents decide when to plant by the stars. You know what I'm saying? I watched them. Oh, wow. It's the rain coming. This gonna rain here. I watched them watch the constellations. So I do know that they could predict certain things by the stars. So I do know that the celestial beings, stars, sun, all that shit,
yes,
its rhythm has something to do on that 24-hour cycle, 30 days, 365, it might be a little off, you know what I'm saying, from originally how it was, but the cycle is close enough for me to know that, hey, something is true about your birthday. Something is true about people and how they respond to certain behaviors, certain sounds, certain colors, certain foods.
Everything you're saying, yes. And with you and I having a special need child, you have a special needs child. I have a special needs grandson. You and I have to communicate differently to our special needs babies.
Yeah.
But we understand it to a different degree.
Yeah,
because
that's
we have
something
to now
different.
use a whole different way to communicate, but still be able to understand. So it's a whole different, we understand it from a different level.
Well, let's get into it. I
All
just said
right.
all that to just let my audience know, y'all know me. I've never been into stuff like that, but I've always been curious about it, but it just wasn't sparked me enough. And then the people that tried to introduce me to it were some weirdo motherfuckers. I'm like, man, this motherfucker too weird. I mean, this motherfucker walk around looking like a gypsy. I don't want to hear that
Right.
reading tarot cards and shit. So let's get into it. You said you sent it to me in our private chat. So
Yes.
I see.
I sent it to you privately so you could see it, but I want everybody else to understand it's nothing weird about it. You can get your own reading with me for $65. That's it. But I'm blessing Javon because he's a brother to me. I'm always going to look out for him. And he and I had discussed this before because I wanted him to see it because he and I built our whole brand without even really knowing each other. We just turned the camera on and said, let's go, and work like that. So I was like, oh, he'll get this living soul so easy. He's going to be like a G with it because he's higher. He's a prophet. He knows a lot of things energetically. And I thought, I think I need to see these numbers because I have a funny feeling we're all going to learn tonight how powerful it is, right?
Real quick, the brother said the topic, we simply need better mothers, has been changed. Yes, we might talk about it a little bit at the end, but I accidentally put up the wrong flyer for today.
Oh, that's okay. No,
Yeah. So,
we can always marry something into it.
Exactly. Your mama should have got you a soul reading. I'm just saying. But so let's go ahead and dive into this thing.
So let's start off with Javon. Javon, we're going to start off with you. We're going to talk about your soul numbers. So what we have here is Javon's soul numbers is 3161. So your first birthday number is December. That's 1 plus 2 equals 3. So your sun soul archetype is that's your first number is a 3. Okay. Your second number is your earth number. It is a 1. I'm sorry. Your moon number is a 3. Your sun number is a 1. Your earth number is a 6. And your entire living soul number is a 1 also. So you have 2 1s in your energy profile, your archetypes. Okay. Now, what does that mean? The moon archetype, which is your first archetype, which is the number 3, means that you are a soul promoter. Now, you and I share in that number. What does a soul promoter mean? That means that you are a creative thinker and you desire to promote souls that come in your life. So when you meet people, when you can join with people, when you are talking to strangers, you always want to find that person's light to help them to elevate and promote in their spirit. That's a part of your makeup in your moon archetype. That's your first archetype on your platform here, which is your androgynous submissive energy. So remember I said earlier, it's not always about masculine and feminine. You have an androgynous submissive energy in your moon archetype, which makes you more likely to be submissive to learning someone else so that you can help promote them to the higher level. So you try to see what person you meet and how you can help them elevate to the higher level just by coming into your company. That's your first archetype. That's your moon archetype. Your second archetype is your sun. You are a soul nurturer. Now let's give a laugh to that. Soul nurturers tend to be people that care. They are liberal thinkers, which means they think liberally. You are big on this Twitter where you're liberal. You are constantly thinking and constantly providing a lot of liberal thinking. That comes from your sun soul archetype, which is your sun archetype. That is why you have that draw. You love it. You love to be liberal in thinking. And not even just that, Your whole living soul is that. So you have a dual one in your archetype. So your whole living soul is a literal liberal thinker. This is why when you are drawn to people, when you're drawn to anything you do in life, Javon, you're always going to be someone that wants to think. Not just constantly just be taught something, but you want to think, and then you want to be able to dissect and see if something is really what it is. And last but definitely not least is your earth archetype. You are a number 6. A number 6 is a soul seer. You and my daughter share insight. So you have spiritual sight. You're a deep thinker. You analyze a lot. So you're analytical at your thinking. And now let me tell you, those 3 archetypes are feminine. Doesn't mean doesn't mean in any way, shape, or form that that's a bad thing. That just means energetically that is the gender.
That's why I like to keep the bitches around me. I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
Well, and also, can we be honest? That's another reason why you connect to them.
Yeah.
Because you have but look here though. Look at your androgynous. You have a submissive side, which you so promote. And then remember, you have a feminine submissive in your sun. So you're submissive there. And then you're dominant in your in your soul seer, in your earth. But you're still, if you look at your whole archetypes, all of them combined, all of them show that you have more feminine archetypes energetically. But that doesn't necessarily mean anything is negative about that. That just means you're able to pull from your feminine energies. Now,
it's funny because when I was in college, quick story, it was this chick in my class. She was like an Erykah Badu chick, like back in the day, like she had all the unks and the metal beads and stuff. And she used to antagonize me. Like whenever I would do presentations, she would always like grill me real hard doing my presentations. I was a freshman. She like 40-some non-traditional student. And my professor told me one day after class, older black lady, she said, you need to watch that woman right there. Be careful of her. And I was like, why? And then she was like, that woman there's something about you that she's like, just be careful about that woman. And I was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? The woman was openly gay. So, you know what I'm saying? So I thought
maybe you could have converted her, changed her over.
So after my professor had said that, I was like, well, maybe she gonna try to do something to me because she can't like me. And one day I was doing my presentation and she like grilled me back and forth. And so after class, you know what I'm saying, I was like, yo, why you do that? Like you kind of messed up my presentation, asking me so many questions, like grilling me, like you messed up my presentation. And she was like, oh well, nothing, blah blah blah. Next couple of days after class, she called me from the back. She was like, hey. And I stopped and she was like, you know, I'm a lesbian, right? And I was like, yeah. She was like, I want to talk to you about something. And I was like, what's that? She was like, you got a lot of feminine energy on you. I was like, okay, what does that mean? And she was like, you kind of like a lion, but I feel the lamb side of you. I was like, all right. And she was like, so long story short, I haven't been with a man my entire life. She was like, but I want to sleep with you. And I thought she was lying. I'm like, okay. And she was like, well, can we go to my house now? You know, I was like, yeah, I'll ride with you. Shit. She was fine. Like I said, the Erykah Badu chick. And I went over her house and she had all these unks and all this stuff. And we slept together a few times. And she taught me a lot about women. And she always told me, she would always say, you got some on you that just gonna draw women to you. So it's funny. It's funny because when you say that whatever those archetype things are, it's feminine for me. It's not something that makes me feel like, oh, am I gay or am I feminine? It's like I always knew I like being around women. It's even in my call. Like
Yes,
I
it
knew
is.
I was called to reach women and
You
speak
know,
to
you
women.
were.
You know what I'm saying? Because
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm a big, strong guy, and I can speak
Yes,
to
of
men,
course.
but for some reason, my calling has been to speak to women. And I told Chris I had a dream where I was like standing on this big podium speaking to this crowd, and when I looked back, I wasn't sure what to say, and it was like millions of women standing behind me.
Yeah. Oh, you told me about that.
For them. Yeah, so it's a
Yes.
situation where I've always uh knew that there was something about me that was called to speak to women. And I would always be like, I'm fucking sick of women. Like, I'm fucking sick of their behavior. I'm sick of how they move.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Why do I care so much about our women coming back to themselves? And I would just, it would bother me, even in my marriage, me and my wife, you know, my wife would jokes were like, oh, don't wake up looking online, or don't wake up if it's something that I see with a woman or a mother in the neighborhood or something.
Right.
And I would just always be on it. And my wife would be like, please stop talking about women for one day. Like for real,
Please,
for real.
can you please give me a break?
Yeah. And even now she'll say, well, okay, Javon, we having a good day. Like, I don't want to hear no woman talk. And at some point we out and I see a mother fucking up with a kid, and it start all over again. So I just wish like hell. I really wish like hell, like you said, being that person that's a seer, a soul seer.
You are.
I feel like I could always, and I always said this in Bible Bears and Bubbles, I was like, we all psychics, and I can show y'all how to be a psychic. I see into people, and I always felt that. And so I'm digging what it's saying. So
so far we're on track. So let's talk about you real quick. So Javon's inner world is led by introspective observation, a softened creative lens, and a deep desire to understand the world exactly as it is. His psyche balances a gentle receptivity. Literal, I said liberal earlier, I meant literal. Literal plus feminine plus submissive, with an internal command for order and clarity. Okay? So you are analytical plus feminine dominant. So let's take a look at your gender energy profile now. You have 0 masculine in your gender energy profile. You have 2 androgynous out of 4 for your androgynous energy. You have 2 feminine in your feminine gender profile. You have 2 dominant in your gender profile, 2 submissive, and 0 neutral. So what does this mean about you? It means Javon embodies a feminine androgynous polarity.
I'm Rick James, bitch. that's
I love it.
That's what I'm hearing. I'm Rick James, bitch.
You know you're going to keep it raw. Navigating life through emotional resonance, relational intelligence, and aesthetic perception. The complete absence of masculine and neutral energy suggests a personality that defers power, seeks collaboration over assertion, and may sometimes struggle with direct confrontation or externalized ambition. However, the inner dominant submissive balance gives him an interesting duality. You can lead through calm presence like you did last night. I watched you last night on your podcast. And you were real calm and let Trap do the talking, but you were still having his back on where he was trying to go with his conversation. I loved it, but this is the part of you. You have a dominant submissive way about you that helps to bring the duality. You can lead really well just being calm. But also, you can be a little challenged at times internally. if there's and a little hesitant when it comes to decision making when you're under pressure. Do you feel that sometimes?
Yeah, because I know the decisions I make affect a lot of people. Also, I know I'm under the spotlight. It's funny. It was something that you said about leadership, and the submissive situation.
Okay, let me see. I can go back and find it.
It was basically saying the absence of the masculine.
Oh, it says the complete absence of masculine and neutral energy suggests a personality that defers power, seeks collaboration over assertion.
Yeah. I was going to speak on that when I heard that stood out.
Okay.
It's funny because that stands out to me because being a big, tall guy, I remember as a child, I always figured out a way to make myself smaller or dim my light. I remember as a child, me and 5 kids could be in back talking in class, and the teacher would always say, "Javon, y'all sit down," and I would be like, "It ain't me though." It would never be me talking at the time, but she would always call my name.
You because you're the tall one.
Yeah, it's because I'm the tall one, or because I'm the ringleader or whatever. So right. I always found a way to kind of stand back. Like even taking a picture, I would stand in the back because I'm taller. Or when you big, people try you. You know what I'm saying? People think when you're big, you're a bully. So I wonder, does my size have something to do with how I have always been a little submissive or leading in a submissive type of way, like suggestion, like for some reason being a big man, when you suggest stuff, people think, oh, he think we should do it his way. So I've always been a little passive as it relates to leadership and just stepping up. You know what I'm saying? So I wonder, do my size have something to do with that? Because I do know that right there lines up with me as far as the leadership and you know what I'm saying, not being as assertive. And I'm agreeable. I always want to agree. That's one of my sayings. How can two walk together unless they agree? So I'm always trying to find that place of agreement with people, even in leadership, even with my wife, you know, in my leadership with her, I'm always trying to find that place of agreement with her. Or when I have to make a decision, it's kind of like I feel bad that I had to put my foot down, you know what I'm saying? But I know it's something I had to do, put my foot down, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I will say this because I want to touch on 2 questions you asked me. The first question was about your size. I think other people interpret your size as being very intimidating. But outside of that, even if your soul was embodied in a shorter man, your soul's being is still large. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I can dig it.
For instance, I'm 5'1", but my being is large. So even if I come into a building or if I come into certain places, people are easily like held back. So I'm always trying to be welcoming, not to intimidate. But yeah, that's
how I am.
That's a part.
It's kind of like dimming your light. Yeah. Sometimes I find myself like not speaking up, or I would always know the answers as a kid. You know what I'm saying?
Also remember, the second part of my answer too is you're a soul seer.
Yeah.
So because you see, Javon, people feel naked.
Exactly.
Like you see all of them. And it's very intimidating because of your being a soul seer. They can see that you can see them. And they're like,
yeah. I have always gotten that from people as far as people will say, well, when I talk to them, they say, you make me feel dumb or you make me feel stupid. And I would always say, I'm not trying to make you feel dumb or not trying to make you feel stupid. I just see through the bullshit you trying to run on me. Yes. And when I passively combat it, you feel a certain way, because I'm never one to say, hey man, that's some goddamn bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Except online, right? Except on Twitter, you'll say it.
But so I kind of always able to tell you're lying without saying you're lying. So people get that feeling of nakedness, like, this nigga know I'm lying, and he ain't just said it straight up because I don't like confrontation. Like that thing said, I don't like confrontation.
Right. Well, and let's just be honest here. One of the challenges with having the dominant submissive side to you, it will make you feel a bit under pressure when you have to make a major decision.
Yeah.
And one of the powers that you and your wife have together is that she allows you to be the man without doing too much. I think she learned how to master the crap out of that, because I see it even when you guys have your show. She allows you to speak and be you. And so you don't have to shrink yourself in your marriage, which is powerful. But yes, I can see here in your numbers here, just being a soul seer, you can find yourself really easily agitated by the BS or the nonsense that people are trying to act like they're not doing when you clearly can see they are.
Yeah, and it even goes down to the way I dress. Like when I met my father had on a fucking 3-piece suit in the middle of the summer. You know what I'm saying? Like just dressed dapper Dan. And I've always been the type of guy that dressed up. If I don't got on a black t-shirt and shorts, I'm fucking clean than a motherfucker. So it's like, even in that, I have always been the type of person that even in getting clean, I would never wear a full suit, because I remember the few times that I wore full suits, you know how men be, we pass the buck, kind of like, for the most part, if a man walk in a room and another man got on something nice and said, yeah, hey man, you killing them tonight. And like, no, dog, that's you killing them. Yeah. You know, for the most part, we pass the buck. But whenever I would wear a full suit, people would be just so, I could feel the intimidation of men. Like my homeboy would tell me, he was like, boy, don't come in here with no suit on. You know what I'm saying? I would be like, why you always say that? He'd be like, man, when you walk in the room with a suit on, first thing I do is find my bitch. Like, where my bitch at? This nigga walking in the room with a suit on. And he said, when I look up, she looking at you. He was like, that's a joke they have. Like, why whenever this nigga come in the room, I look for you, and then when I look at you, you looking at him. And so he would always tell me, he would say, it's gonna be hard for you to get on. And this is just my homeboy from when we was 15, 16 years old. Right. And I would always say, why you say that? He said, man, you gonna have to knock yourself down in order for other people to feel comfortable around you. So I've always, even in dressing fresh, I never wore a suit. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's a situation where I feel like people looking at me like, this nigga doing too much when he get too clean. You know what I'm saying? Like the times that I have worn like my little bracelets and necklaces and stuff, motherfuckers, it's like motherfuckers be like, God damn, niggas, you already tall, motherfucker. You already handsome.
Now you gotta turn it up all the way up.
Yeah. Right. So I never got into clothes like I want to. You know what I'm saying? I got stuff I ain't wore just because of that reason. You know what I'm saying?
Now remember, you're a double one. So that means being that you have 2 ones, you are emotionally attuned and you're empathetic.
Exactly. That's and you know what? That's, I think, what it's like a gift and a curse, because I'm emotionally in tune. Yeah. So I could tell when somebody trying to fuck me over, but I still care about their feelings. Now let me give you an example of what I mean. Okay. I had a cousin, hadn't talked to in a while, called me, what up, cuzzo, blah, 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 blah. And after the little rigmarole in the beginning of the blah, 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 they asked me to borrow $250. Okay. And I know good and goddamn well they not going to give me my money back. I already know this. I know to the core of me, they're not going to give me my money back. Right. I know this. I can see right through them. Right. The fact that you call me after 5-6 years asking to borrow $250 lets me know that you're so comfortable not talking to me because we ain't talked in 5 years. Now you're going to ask me for $250. And I know you're not going to give it back to me.
No intention.
Absolutely not.
Right.
But the person that empathizes with me in me says, go ahead and give it to them.
Right.
So they can know you love them as cousin. So then when they don't pay you back and you never talk to their motherfucking ass again, they'll understand why.
Right.
And I could easily just say, you know what, cousin, I don't want to give you that because I know you ain't gonna pay me back and you're gonna duck me. And I don't give a fuck what you think. And that's how I really feel.
Right.
But I feel like the Christos, the Christ, I'm dying on the cross for them. Like, I'll be out of $250 just to loan you, just so you can know somebody cared about you and your bullshit line. And now that I done gave it to you, go ahead and don't pay me back. So the next time I see you at the family reunion, I can look at you and you look at me and I know we thinking about it and I won't even say it. I'm the type of person that you could owe me money and I'll see you over and over. And I feel like when, and this is crazy, like what you were saying, that's the bitch in me, all that femininity. You know what I'm saying? Let me really explain this so you can see what I'm saying, because it might be somebody else on the line that can identify with this. If y'all can identify what I was saying, if you're the type of person,
if their birthday is March or December, they are a 3 like you.
Yeah. So what I was saying was, I know for a fact that I will sacrifice myself for somebody else to feel better. Literally, like situations where, like I just explained about the money, or somebody need to be told something that I know they need to be told and I won't say nothing. I've been in situations where people have owed me money. I need money, but I feel bad about asking them for my money back because I know that gonna embarrass them if I ask them for my money back and they ain't got it. Ain't that some shit? And then I'll be sitting at home mad to myself saying, any motherfucker that owed me money, I ain't never giving a motherfucker. And then when I'm broke, I be sitting back saying to myself, I could easily just call this motherfucker and say, hey man, I'm broke, I need some help. Give my goddamn money back. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you won't.
Yeah, I don't.
No. Now let me tell you something. I want to share something with you that I think is powerful. I just thought about. Your double ones makes you emotionally attuned and empathetic, but check this out. Your submission position is a power. It doesn't need spotlight because you can influence people as you're doing now. When you can influence them from behind the scenes, that is power to the people.
Yeah.
Okay. So that seek to lead are nothing more than supportive people. See, you hold power with people, and you don't give a F about, the influence the people stop supporting you or whatever. You just know that you are very much about looking out, and your empathetic side of you is a power. It's not a weakness, but many people are ignorant to what submission means.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you, as masculine as you are, were able to look at your gender energy scores here and see, ooh, he has no masculine, but he's all masculine. He's all man, but you hold a certain side of you that is really empathetic and sympathetic to other people, which means you have a mindfulness to you.
You know,
a lot of people don't have that. And then not to mention, remember, you're also a soul nurturer.
You know, my grandma explained it to me. It's funny how you saying this right here.
I haven't even gotten into the elements yet, but go ahead.
It's funny how you saying this because my grandma basically broke it down, and it's like all coming alive, stuff that she had told me about myself and that I was going to do, because she understood this shit you talking about in her own way from back in the day. And my grandma used to always tell me, you're going to be a big boy. You know, I'm 3-4 years old. You're going to be a big man. And it's like, what I realize is this. My size and my masculine presence is for leadership. And people will follow me and my voice will always be influential.
Yes.
What my grandma told me was that feminine woman in me is so I won't turn into a charlatan. Let me
You
explain
want
to
to
you
turn into a what?
a charlatan.
Okay.
I have the heart of a woman
Yes.
because if I didn't, I would be the biggest fucking con artist ever created. I
Yes.
say that all the time to my wife, and I be like, people dislike me for telling the truth. If I was to use this motherfucking charisma, I would have 10 fucking wives taking care of me somewhere on a fucking farm with
Yes.
acres of land, and motherfuckers would move there. I could be like a James Jones nigga, David Koresh. I know I could start a fucking cult tomorrow.
You have a conscience and you have a spiritual
That's
guide inside of you.
That's what
You
my
have a
grandmother
world.
said, was that she said you got a mother wit. She used to
Yes.
always call it a mother's wit.
Absolutely. And
So
you,
my
and
heartstrings
you
are
also have
different.
you have a God, you have someone you look up to in your soul. Not something that, it's not all this religion. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you have a spiritual, you're in allegiance to having something to pray to meditate, to be in spirit of. You're not all caught up in I gotta be this religion and all that, but you are
Yeah.
someone who will not just do anything and think you're not going to have to be accountable for it. Because if we're talking about something real quick about like the Diddy scenario, he doesn't have a God. He doesn't have a higher spirit. He doesn't have someone he's looking to. So he's able to do things and not have a conscience. It would bother you if you hurt people, if you were out here intentionally hurting people.
And what I'm saying, what my grandmother was saying, that mother wit in me, if I didn't have that, I would be Diddy him fucking self.
Absolutely.
I know I would. I know if I didn't have that.
And you do also understand that you're in the body you're in so that you can attract women, right?
Yeah. I understand that. But like I said, that and so I'm so cool with that. Whatever that feminism or feminine thing about me that keeps me from just not caring, because if I know, man, women hit me up all the time. People hit me up all the time. Man, I know I could start a cult tomorrow.
Of course you could.
Literally, like, hey,
Yeah,
Facebook, we just bought 10 acres of land. Who coming?
Yeah, but you won't, because what's so funny is you have permission to do what you want to do. You're in an open marriage.
Yeah, exactly.
But if you notice, you don't. Because
exactly.
But this is why you're. Let me also tell you something else really quick before we go into the soul elements. I don't want to take too long. Your soul is a double nurturer. So let's not lose sight on that. Nurturers are great manifestors. This is why you're able to connect to people that's, celebrity or higher powers, or they have a lot of exposure, because if we're honest, by you being a soul nurturer, you're a soil. Okay, so that means you're someone that people can just nestle in and grow from. You also are a manifester, so that means that you can come and you can just build on something and just create some massive amounts of good on the planet while you're here. But you're aware of your purpose. It's not like you're walking around, I don't know what my purpose is. You just can get easily frustrated by not seeing the growth you want to see when you're trying to build. So you don't waste time. You're like I am. You just won't waste time. So if we're going to do something, we got to get it done and get to moving. Or I'm out of here. I don't have time to waste time with people. And that's where you are right now. Now, your feminine energy also brings a power to draw. So that is the reason why feminine energy is working to your advantage. It draws. It brings people in. And money versus the chase. Masculine energy is more prone to chase money. You hear me?
Exactly. I tell my wife all the time. Me and my wife, we laugh and we joke all the time, because sometimes as a man, certain things I know I could take advantage of. I look around, I might look at the bank account, or we don't
Right.
never go through no financial hardships and no shit like that. But just as a man, just want your paper to grow. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes I've been in opportunities and had situations where I say, Chris, we can have so much fucking money if I would just compromise how I feel about this thing right here. So many people hit me through the internet. Hey man, do you sponsor products, man? I'll pay you to say this. Like, man, I ain't saying shit about your product. I ain't use your shit. You know what I'm saying? That ain't my thing. That ain't my thing. You know what I'm saying? I've always cared about my face, as my granddad to say, your face, your name, your face card. So for me, the last thing I want to do is promote something or do something that's monetarily motivated, and I lose my credibility as a person. You see what I'm saying? So like you said, the masculine chase, the feminine in me don't chase the money.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
Feminine energy will create the environment for everyone to buy without them even knowing.
Exactly.
So this is the power that you hold. Whereas the masculine will force it. It's just not your vibe.
Let me give you a perfect example of how I know what you're saying is 100% true. Okay. It may be some people on here that took my Bears and Bubbles class. I created a Bears and Bubbles class on manifestation, right?
Right.
And I was saying, like you said, I'm a master manifester. It's just what I want. I care for people. So let me explain to you my purpose so you'll get this.
Okay.
I am a person that's going to galvanize and wake our people up, right? I have spent so much energy to that. That's why I'm so open with my platform to someone like you or someone like Trav, because I am what I call I would rather have the influence than the power. You see what I'm saying? How you were saying earlier about leadership and power, and I am a passive leader. I can take you and push you to the forefront as far as I can. I can push Trav to the forefront as far as I can. And I'm cool with being the person with influence.
Yes.
Like my nephew, King Randall, he's doing so much things. He's doing such big things. And people see him do all this big stuff. And I talk to him every day. I'm getting to meet Elon Musk. What should I do? I'm meeting Donald Trump. What should I do? I'm going to see Kanye West. What should I do? So I have so much influence over people with power. Yeah. So what I'm saying is that wisdom, whatever it is in me. I created a Bears and Bubbles class, and I told people in the class, y'all are gonna prosper so much more than me in manifestations, because y'all doing it is proof that my teaching works.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's an old saying, and it's kind of relevant. It's like the saying, the person that teach, they teach because they don't do. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to teach people how to do something, and they're gonna think, well, how is he teaching me how to do it and he ain't did it? But they don't realize me teaching is my doing. You see what I'm saying? They don't really get it.
You're the manifester.
That's what they don't understand. So as a person, I look at the people that took my Bears and Bubbles class. It's motherfuckers that started businesses, bought homes, found love, that's manifesting all their dreams. And so I was talking to a person that was in my class that was doing real big shit. And they was like, Master Teacher, you know what I'm saying? I don't see the manifestations of blah, blah, blah. Almost kind of like saying, well, do your shit really work? You teaching it and everybody in your class is doing all this, man. I said, motherfucker, you are my manifestation.
Right.
The fact that you said your life was fucked up and you ain't know where you was going to go and what the fuck to do. Then you listen at a nigga through the internet. Now you saying your life is great. Nigga, you my motherfucking manifestation. I'm not trying to be the rich, blah, 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 blah. I'm the poor righteous teacher that people are going to point back and say, hey, look at Gandhi. Look at Mother Teresa. That's Dr. King. That's what I'm here for. And I understand that.
I love
but
it.
Money and shit gonna come with that, but I'm not chasing that.
That's not chasing it.
It allows me to keep my integrity. That's why I say, for example, all the time, I know if I just be a little bit more sweeter to black women and Derek Jackson a little bit, write a little book on love or some shit. But I
Right.
be on black women's ass because I love them.
Right.
And that's what they really need. And truth deep down, that's what they really want. So that's why they keep watching me. But I know if I was to be a little bit more sweeter and capitulate for them a little bit and say they little shit, but no, I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna compromise just to get your money when I want to see the big
You want to see the rise in them. You want to see them. You want to see them promote. Remember, you're the soul. Your moon archetype. You are a soul promoter. So don't forget that, Javon. That's your first archetype. Your moon archetype. You're a soul promoter. So what you just got finished sharing with us is that you want to see the light that you're pouring into people to blossom through them.
That's what I do.
You're not chasing the dollars like some people are. You're chasing the people's light to be manifested to the highest of their ability. And that's the power of you.
And what's so funny about it, like Dr. King once joked in one of his writings, he said he don't need no money. Because everywhere he go, people gonna break bread. Right. So it's the situation where I've had times in my life where people from my class just send me money out the blue. I'll be like, damn. So
because you're not gonna be forgotten.
Yeah, exactly. So
let's get into your soul elements. I want you to hear this part. Now you're gonna love this. Now, soul elements. Let's talk about that. Let me give you the soul elements so you know what they are. We have 5 soul elements that we have to also be paying attention to in our profile. We have earth wood, we have metal element, we have water element, we have the air element, and we also have fire. We have 5 soul elements in our profile. Now, what water is our empathy, our emotion, and our intuition. Out of your elements in your profile, you have 3 out of 4 water elements.
See what I mean? So that's why I said I've always understood there was a rhythm to things and a frequency to things. So this shit line right up. I could have told you when you started talking, I was like, oh, I'm all water. I knew that. I'm all water. Well, I know myself.
You have 3 out of 4, so you're doing well in water. You don't have you don't have any lack there. Let's put it that way.
The funny thing
let's talk about your earth wood.
Let me say this real quick, Miss Carla. And that's why I say she doing these readings for $65. Anybody that's watching this shit right now that know me know that this shit is 100% correct as we talk right now. Anybody that know me watching this shit is 100% know this shit 100% correct. Go ahead.
Okay, you ready for your earth wood? So your earth wood element, you have 2 out of 4. That means you're stable, loyal, and grounded. No, this isn't tarot, baby. This is the living soul profile reading. So we have a living soul archetypes that we're going through on Javon's birth date. And if you watch us on the rewind, you'll see how we actually form and explain our living soul based off of our birth date. We went earlier through his archetypes. So there's a moon archetype, earth archetype, sun archetype, and living soul archetype. And we went through all of his archetypes first. Now we're dealing with Javon's gender elements in his archetypes. And we're seeing that he has 2 out of 4 numbers for his earth wood. What that means is he's a stable man, he's very loyal, and he's a grounded thinker. This is just off of his numbers right here for his earth wood. This is his elements, okay? Now your metal element, this comes with precision, discernment, and control. You have 2 out of 4 in that element. Are you ready for your fire?
Yeah.
Your fire element. you are 3 out of 4 in fire.
Yeah, I already knew that.
You already know. That's
Yeah.
passion, charisma, and internal spark.
Now let me say this right quick.
Okay.
As much as you know about this shit, and I don't really know nothing about this shit, just listen at you. Notice how I said a gift and a curse, right?
Yes.
How am I 3 out of 4 water, 3 out of 4 fire? That means I'm kind of polar opposite, like something going on in me. Like when I said there's this war going on in me that wants that. That's the thing that'll make me get a motherfucker to 250 knowing he ain't gonna give my fucking money back. It's like I should burn his ass up with the fire in me, but I'm gonna give him the water in me. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
You got a soft side, but you got the fire in the same way.
Yeah. It's like, damn, I know, man, I should
battle of
burn this motherfucker ass. Or just recently, I just was in a situation where I showed mercy on somebody that tried to be in a fist fight with me. You know what I'm saying? And I was just like, wow, this person is really trying to get in a fist fight with me. And I was just like, yo, man, I don't fight. I'm going to shoot you, boy. I'm going to shoot you. I don't fight. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't have my pistol on me. And they ran up on me and swung on me. And I caught his arm in my arm and then grabbed his hands. Good. And held his hands and said, you want to fight? And they was trying to get away. I said, boy, I got your hands. You like a woman. You can't even get away with. My strength is so much more than yours. And as I was telling him, I wanted to kill him for even fucking swinging at me. But I held his hands and I was so calm and gentle with him. I said, boy, I got your hands like you a fucking woman. You can't even get your fucking hands out of my hands.
Remember, you're absent of neutral and masculine energy. That's what was it. That was your ability.
That's what spared him. Yes. That's what spared him. That's what I'm telling you. Yes. I had his hands so strong he couldn't. I said, man, you like a woman in a domestic violence case. You done swung on me, and now I'm holding your hands. I got you subdued.
Right.
You're subdued right now. You can't even get away from me. I could kidnap you.
Right. Literally, I could put you in my trunk.
Mercy.
I could put you in my trunk.
Yeah, right exactly. And I'm showing you mercy, and the people looking at like, this nigga swung on you.
Right. That's a lot to take in, and you know, in your.
And guess what? Let me say this so you get my point. What? I'm so fucking mad because I wanted to kill that son of a bitch for swinging on me just to show him, but showing him mercy. I'm mad at myself. I've been thinking about this shit 4 days.
Just remember, it was your feminine side, the empathetic. You knew you would have killed him. You would have killed him with your bare hands.
4 motherfucking days.
Yeah, you would have killed him with your bare hands. It wouldn't have done any good long term. We got too much to do on the planet. We can't have you incarcerated. You know. Exactly. So it was a good thing. I know it doesn't feel good, but sometimes we got to make those difficult decisions. And let me give you your air element. You ready? So your air element, you're 2 out of 4. So that comes from ideas, perspective, and objectivity. That's what your air element provides for you. Okay? So you really, to be honest with you, Javon, you have, it looks like to me you're not doing too bad on your elements, which is important because a lot of times this doesn't look too good. A lot of times when I'm doing readings, like, ooh, we got some work to do. But you have a lot to work with here. So let's look at your elemental strengths, shall we?
Yeah.
Your water and your fire blend give you deep emotional feeling with strong inner passion and a soulful fire. You connect through compassion, but you're definitely moved by purpose. This makes you ideal in emotionally nuanced spaces like teaching, healing, writing, or the arts. Now, your triad, earth, wood, metal, and air assist you in your ability to be consistent and penetrating with charisma as it invokes a feeling that others enjoy to draw from. Balanced elements, you have no extremes. How is that for tonight? You have no extremes. That is delicious.
Yeah, I'm digging it because, like I said, that I was saying that balance of here is pulling from here, and it keeps me in the middle. It keeps me balanced.
Now, it does say that this soul avoids the distortions of the elemental excess. So that's good.
Yeah,
There's no dominating force, but rather a gentle blend of soul intelligences. Your only caution would lie in potential passivity, which we talked about earlier,
yeah,
or overwhelm, especially in high demand environments. So if
yeah,
it's high demand, it's usually a lot for you. You don't swarm well in that. Now, your thinking characteristics, let's talk about it. When you're thinking, you are a 3 in your creative thinking, which means you're abstract, you're imaginative, and you're a symbolic thinker, which I think we share in that.
yeah,
We have a tendency to share in that. You're literal, which means you're detail oriented. Facts first with you.
yeah. You got
Facts
to be.
first. And you're very grounded. You're 6, you're analytical, which means you're pattern seeking, and you're logical, and you're precise. You don't play. When you come with something, you're going to be like, I spent all day, all night to make sure this is sharp and precise, and my precision don't miss.
Yeah, and look, and I joke all the time. That's why a motherfucker ain't never proved me wrong on the internet. I've been talking this shit for years, predicting shit. And motherfucker, you can't prove me wrong because number one, I ain't gonna speak on it unless I done researched it upside down and inside out. I ain't gonna even talk about if I'm the type of person, if I wouldn't spend 5 hours researching it, it don't make sense enough for me to fucking talk about it.
I know.
That's how dumb it is to me.
And you won't mess with it, period.
Yeah. That's why I don't like sports.
Now, here's your core integration. We're going to talk about the integration of your core. It says Javon's mental landscape fuses literal clarity with creative expression.
Yeah.
His dual ones, your soul and your living soul, form a strong anchor in realism. But your moon's creative nature invites poetic meaning. The Earth's analytical nature ensures that you don't get lost in emotion or abstraction. You seek structure in stories and data in dreams. Your shadow tensions. Let's talk about your shadows. Some things that might cause you tension, and you might be making some patterns that aren't too good that you want to kind of maybe change.
Yeah.
Inner push and pull between objective facts and subjective meaning. You can second guess artistic or intuitive leanings with over-reliance on what's real. Your fire-water blend, you have a high emotional activation and you feel intensely and you react deeply. So you don't play when you're really feeling something. You may struggle at times with emotional overprocessing or burnout if boundaries aren't established from the beginning.
Yeah. And look, and that it's funny because in saying all that, that's why it's hard to get close to me. People think they know me because I talk on the fucking internet.
Right.
That don't take social skills to talk on the internet, to talk on my phone. I'm in my house right now, hitting my vape. I'm chilling. I actually was diagnosed with something called agoraphobia, panic attacks.
Really?
I've been to the doctor, diagnosed. You know what I'm saying? I handle my shit in my own way, but I was prescribed medication for agoraphobia. I have a fear of strangers and being in places that I don't have control of.
Really?
Like I don't go to Walmart. I don't go to the mall. I don't go nowhere where I can't get out immediately. I sit by all exits. I sit with my back facing the door. You know what I'm saying? I have a fear of being out of control. That's what it's called. Somebody put the definition up that agoraphobia. Now, I went through therapy and everything, and it just sums up to me. It's just I don't like motherfuckers, you know. And you call it what you want to call it, you know. I'm not gonna let you medicate me for something I knew my whole life.
Right.
My whole life, I didn't like being around a lot of people. I don't like social settings. I don't like situations that some could go on that I can't control. I don't want to be in your store. I don't want to be walking around the mall. I don't want to go to your concerts. When I travel, I don't want to see your city. I don't want to see your fucking relics. I don't want to see none of the fucking history. I done been out of the country to different countries and they be like, come see our I don't want to see your fucking museum. I don't want to see nothing about your fucking history, nothing about your fucking culture. When I was in LA, my guy was like, let me take you to see, I don't want to see where Friday was filmed, fucking Boys in the Hood. I don't want to see none of that shit. Right. I want to be where I want to be. So it's amazing that it says that about me. You know what I'm saying? As far as
I haven't even finished though. We're almost done.
Yeah.
Check this one out. It says you're feminine, androgynous plus lack of masculine. Naturally, you are nurturing and cooperative and expressive.
Yeah, that's
you
me.
May overcompensate, leading to resentment if personal needs are sidelined.
Yeah, that's me.
You tend to withhold assertion, especially in confrontational settings.
Mm-hmm.
And your soul archetype gravity effect means that your strong literal gravity is 1 + 1. Which means, Javon, you anchor in realism.
Yeah.
Responsibility and reliability.
That's me.
Your soul orbits around what's practical and provable.
That's me.
Making you grounded and humble.
I don't believe in no fucking aliens. I don't believe in none of the fucking bullshit, that dumb shit that we can't see. None of this fucking flat earth shit. I don't give a fuck about your religion, your God, none of that motherfucking shit. We can't see
right
it. If I ain't, yeah, I'm serious. You hear me? People been hearing me talk this shit on the internet forever. I don't give a fuck about your black history. None of that shit. That shit proves nothing to us. It does not help us out in no way.
This is why I thought that Living Soul would resonate with you, because you do have that personality. I didn't feel like it was going to be too much to where it was so me being campaignish for you to sign up and all this other stuff. This is just to show you what I already know. This is for you to know, well, dang, this doesn't have all this fluff to it. It's telling me what it is.
And let me say this. Like I told you when we first discussed it, I don't believe in that bullshit, numerology and all this living soul, gypsy tarot card shit. Right. You know what I'm saying? I don't. And even now, the only reason this shit making sense to me, because it make fucking sense. If it didn't, I would be like, well, this shit lining up for me. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
I don't.
Right.
You could have broke this shit down.
It's not about campaigning. It's about just showing you.
Yeah, if the shit makes sense to me, it makes sense. This is something that I would promote. Hey, somebody did my soul numbers reading, man. That shit makes sense to me, Jack. You know, right. I don't know. You check it out.
Now, remember, you have a double gravity because you have 2 1s. It says you can resist imagination or question visionary insight.
Yeah.
As suggested by the creative moon. So your creative and analytical bridge is 3 + 6. You have a beautiful tension between those. Symbolically, structurally, you have art and order. So you're artistic, but you have order. You don't play about order. Now you also are harmonized with your archetype of soulful analytics. You're poetic. You're very logistic. And you're a grounded dreamer. If you're going to dream at all, it's going to have some type of realism to it. You're not going to just dream on some type of silly stuff.
And it's going to be some shit that I can work at every day to make happen. I ain't dreaming about the fucking NBA. I know I'm not going to the NBA.
But you know, a lot of men that are your height are going to automatically think that.
Yeah. I never wanted to play professional sports ever. I've wanted to be a teacher since I was a little boy. I've never wanted to play pro sports.
That's what you are, because what's your name? The master teacher.
The master teacher. That's what I call myself. Yeah, I know exactly what I am. I know it. I've always known my purpose. I've always known it.
So you're not
it's beautiful.
But so many people don't, Javon. It's a gift to know your purpose early in life. Remember, I talk about it all the time, but most women don't.
Yeah.
So the fact that you have all this feminine in your archetypes, but you know your purpose,
Yeah.
You are killing
Yeah.
how women usually operate in their soul element.
The dope thing about it for me is, as I listen to it, everything about me in what you said is exactly what I need to do, what the fuck I need to do. And that's what I would tell people. There's no right or wrong to this shit. It's just your reading. This is my reading. You know, when I first hear no masculine, super feminine, blah, 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 I'm like, okay, those words stand out to you. But then when you hear this shit, it's like, oh, okay, this shit makes sense to me.
And it did,
So,
and you also didn't get prejudiced about it. You just,
nah, because I want to know if that shit could have said, motherfucker, you got dog energy. And I'd be like, well, what the fuck does dog energy? Read the chart. What is dog energy? You see what I'm saying? So I'm an analytical thinker, and I'm listening, and it makes sense. I'm not gonna overlook all this. Like you said, this shit can be a guide.
yes.
Not only a guide, it could be confirmation, affirmation. It could be so many things that help you move forward in life. So
for you, I wanted this reading for you because you and I have a mission, a joint mission, what we're doing right now with what we have. And I want you to study this. We're going over it briefly through here, but I really want you to study this for you.
Yeah.
The reason why I want you to study your profile is I want you to really study the numbers, because to be honest with you, Javon, you have a higher purpose, but outside of that, you're able to read so much of this and see so much of yourself that you'll be able to even be a better husband, better father, better master teacher, because knowing that, oh, you know what? I do have a tendency to do this, or I do have a tendency to do that. Because what I see here is if you get unbalanced, you can feel inner dissonance or emotional stuckness. So you can feel that, and it could cause you to feel like, man, I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere, or I'm feeling agitated. I'm just going to put everything down right now because I'm just not moved.
Well, I'll tell you something. It's funny because like the fire and the water and the leadership, but the passiveness. My wife will tell you, and anybody take my class, people will tell you, I fucking hate social media. And I said social media would destroy the black race. I knew this, but this is the only place I can get on for people to hear me. So even getting on this motherfucker, for years, people have been saying start a podcast. I fucking hate podcasts. I hate motherfuckers sitting around talking about shit when they don't know what the fuck they talking about. But I'm talking like we just established. I'm talking from a learned, literal, analytical. I'm talking from some real shit. I'm not. Notice the podcast we talk. We're not up here talking about fucking the Diddy case. We're not up here talking about who should go with who. We're up here talking about real, practical, real life shit. I want my podcast to be about real, practical, real life shit. So it's always a battle for me, because to get up in the morning and even make my video to stay relevant, I gotta upload that shit, and just looking at the little fucking blue F for Facebook make me sick. Looking at this fucking red U for YouTube makes me fucking sick. Right. And I'm telling you, it makes me fucking sick because I know what it is, and it makes me sick literally, like I taught people in my Bears and Bubbles class. You can wake up in the motherfucking morning 100% happy and look at your motherfucking phone, and your whole day and mentality change. It happens to me all the fucking time. It happens to me all the time. When I'm uploading a video to Facebook, as soon as I hit press send, and the video pop up on the timeline next to me, I ain't even got to see the video, just the fucking caption or ruin my fucking day. The caption will ruin my day.
I already know that, but this is why I wanted you to read this and see this for you, is so that you understand that you don't have a loud soul, Javon. Even though you're loud and ranting and raving on that Twitter, your soul's not loud.
Not at all.
But you are precise, baby boy, and you're lyrical. You don't play. You are at the best when you're allowed to build meaning and you're in environments that appreciate your depth and your softness and synthesis. And I mean, and that's your whole reading right there. I mean, if anybody has anything to say to add to what we had went over today, please say it, share it. What did you guys get from the reading? Like I said, you guys can get one from me. And I'm telling you what, this is just really powerful for Javon, because I think, Javon, it'll help you to even know how to explain yourself even to, Chris more.
Yeah.
Because I think in all love affairs, we get kind of comfortable with being lovers, that we tend to lose our inquisitiveness.
Yeah.
And so just sitting down with this, I mean, with your soul profile that I gave you, just sit down with each other and be like, hey, you know what? You do this.
And this is the thing. We're gonna pay you to do hers. You know what I'm saying? Get her the one, because she said she wanted to get hers done.
Readings for couples too, and I want to do the one with your daughter. I know we talked about that.
Yeah, my birthday is December 1st, and Chris is December the 3rd.
Is it really?
We get along well. You know what I'm saying?
You guys are awesome. I loved your show. I meant to compliment. I was just watching it, and I love you two together. I love your energies are powerful. But outside of that, like I talked about, I love how you guys share about, you're becoming each other's, but not getting so caught up in just being, on your last show on marriage and having the absence.
Mm-hmm.
And how powerful that brings intimacy. So
exactly.
Many people think they got to be up underneath each other every minute, that they're going to actually lose each other. But you have that passion with each other, and you're able to separate with the power. So I think it's awesome with you and him, with you and her.
I put up the link if anybody want to come in and chat up, or say what they thought about the look, that's how I am. I'm so excited about it. I got confirmation. I just forgot the name of this shit. Soul meeting. I said anybody want a soul meeting? The living soul. Yeah. This is something I would promote, and I'm gonna tell you why, like, for real. Because this is the thing, and I say it in barrels and bubbles all the time. You got to accept who the fuck you are. You really have to accept who you are. You know what I'm saying? And this right here was a great affirmation for me to just accept who I am, because everything about this makes sense to me. It actually describes me to the T, and it lets me know, nigga, keep being who you are. Keep being who you are. You don't have to compromise here. You don't have to capitulate here. You don't have to change your mind here. Keep being who you are, because at the end of the day, as much as I hate this shit, I always said, even when I was a young man, my grandma told me, you're going to preach to the nations. First, they're going to fear you, then they're going to hate you, then they're going to love you. I think I'm coming around to love now. I just start having some celebrities comment on my IG. Some celebrities started to follow me. So I think I'm starting to come around where people starting to say, hey, this man, he yelling and screaming, but he really care. He really cares. Like John the Baptist yelling in the wilderness. It's like, y'all think this motherfucker crazy, but he really care. You know what I'm saying? So I'm excited because, like I said, at the end of the day, it lines up with what I'm doing. My grandma always told me this is what I was going to do. And it's like, no matter where I go, when I speak, people listen. Yeah. So I might as well keep doing what I'm doing. It's a beautiful situation. It's definitely confirmation for me to keep doing what I'm doing. Don't get tired. Right. Understand the ups and downs of it, and understand the shadow work in it, and analyze myself daily. Shit, if there was some type of website that I could check on this shit from time to time, shit, I would even go look at that, whatever, unless, or either I got what I got to do, call you every day, Miss Carla. Yes. That's how you get motherfuckers. Call me every day, yeah. Try to get you trying to get rich off this shit. Miss Carla, I need you to tell me, do I need to get on the bed today? Oh, it's gonna be $5 for you to need to know if you got the bed today with the big eyes. $5.
You are so wild.
Yeah, but no, in real life, what if I wanted to check back on this? What do I gotta call you? Is there a website?
Well, you go to my
Is there a class I can get in or some shit?
Yes, it's called Coach Carla Nicole.setmore.com, and you can join me and you can request for actual reading. Actually, that's where you can go and sign up to actually get your reading from there.
I'm talking about, but after I get the reading, is that where I can follow up?
You're actually, see, what I did with you is I actually gave you a personal read, but you can actually get the reading actually printed and sent to your email.
Okay.
That's how you get it. Just email me and go through.
Look, I'm trying to turn it into some. I want to know whatever I want to know every Saturday. Can I call you every Saturday? Like, what the fuck? I want to know, like, the daily. I'm trying to turn it into some daily horoscope shit, and it's really an overall life guide. That's what I see.
We also train also, so you want to. We train, we do all kinds of stuff, Javon. I'm telling we actually have a Patreon too under Living Soul. So we certify, listen, you have to come on and just get with it. It's under Patreon.
I'm gonna fly up and we gonna kick it because we got to discuss some stuff on how we gonna do this stuff together. Because I damn near think I said, Miss, I think I'm trying to put people on. I'm like, Miss Carla, she's the goddamn cultist. She done snuck me into her cult, and I don't even realize she got me on the Living Soul shit. Trying to get me to goddamn promote this shit for her. She done goddamn finesse my ass. Yeah, I ain't even seen how the ass looks yet. I'm just playing.
I just love you. I swear I do. But listen, actually, I would love for you to be a Living Soul profile reader. I really would. I would love.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna look into it.
No, I'm serious. I'm not even being funny. I mean, I really, because you already have the energy. You already are a teacher anyway. And can you imagine just being able to guide people? Since you are a soul promoter like me, you can help other people to build. We also do weekly forecasts and daily forecasts. We got all kinds of stuff.
See how she's trying to suck me into the cult. That's how they do. She talking about, I could teach you to be a profile reader. You got the gab.
You better know it. Listen,
did you seek me out through the internet to pull me into the Living Soul cult?
Coach Carla Nicole and got me in some stuff.
There'll be a cult of Living Soul motherfuckers walking around talking about my water and my air is up today and my fire is low.
You're so wild. What am I gonna do with you?
I'm definitely excited about this and to learn more about it. If all hearts and minds are clear, don't nobody need to speak up on that.
Does anybody want to join us tonight, this evening? I know she was asking something about the taboo. What was she saying? She had asked something about me and taboo.
She said you definitely speak on taboo subjects. Hell, I've even learned something. So she was saying I definitely speak on taboo subjects. Yeah, I'm always one to say I don't knock nothing I don't understand. I just need to understand something. Sister spoke on tarot cards earlier. I had a sister do a tarot reading for me. That shit lined up. I didn't know how it lined up. I just didn't fuck with it because it was just some fucking cards. You know what I'm saying? But it lined up. But it didn't line up enough for me to promote or take it seriously. However, this right here, it lined up enough for me to promote or take seriously. Somebody right here named Satori Seals said, how do we join? So give them your information of how to join. He's
wanting to join us.
Okay.
Bring him on in. I really think, like I tell you all the time, when we build.
That's the link to Facebook to join. And then there's a link for YouTube to join. It just depends on where you're watching. What are you watching through, Facebook or YouTube? Because sometimes I don't think it lets you join from a Facebook profile. I don't know how that shit works.
Find out tonight. How did Daylise come on? Do you remember?
I don't know. Maybe she was watching on YouTube because he could be watching me on my Facebook profile. And I don't think they let him join from the profile, but if he was watching me from my page,
we'll see
it would. So let's see this. Tell him, tell him to go to my YouTube. I be trying to get people to watch it on YouTube because I know anybody can join and comment. Like I said, I think important. When streaming to a profile, viewer comments won't show up unless The stream is public on Facebook by default. So if he commenting right now, he should be able to just click on that link right here, brother.
Let's see if he. Did you tell him to just click it and see what happens?
Yeah, he should be able to click on that link right there.
Okay, perfect.
But like I said, that link is from my Facebook page, you know, like your public page. Right. I don't know if he can see that link. So Satori, can you see that Facebook link I got? I do have IG. You know what? I forgot to stream on IG today.
Did you forget? Oops.
Yep. You know, I can stream to both. Okay. So Chop Duke, I do have IG. Normally I'd be streaming this to IG.
He said Chop said we need IG. We're messing around, huh?
Yeah, Chop Duke, I have IG. I normally be streaming. Link don't show on Facebook. Yeah, he'll have to, if what it is streaming to my Facebook actual page. It's not streaming to it. They can see it, but he can't link in. Now, if he go to YouTube to Javon M. Clark, Aggressive Church, then he'll be able to click on and see it. And so he said, I can go to YouTube. So go to Javon M. Clark.
One thing that I love about the profile tonight is that we were able to, you know, discuss some things about your energy that I love, because most people are so caught up in the gender difference. They're so caught up in masculine and feminine, and very, very rarely do people talk about, the androgynous energy. So I'm glad that we were able to talk about, you know, having the submissive side to you.
Well, you know, this is the thing. This is the thing about me. I'm a goddamn man, and I like pussy. So what can a profile say? If a profile say he's got feminine energy, I know I like pussy. That ain't gonna stop me from liking pussy.
No.
And if the profile say he's androgynous, that don't stop me from liking pussy. You know what I'm saying? I think people get too caught up in masculine and feminine and blah 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 blah. You got people all the time, like you take the most androgynous nigga in the world to me is Cam Newton. You know what I'm saying? Cam Newton. Yeah, Cam Newton, big 6'5", 6'6" muscle head nigga.
Is Cam really that tall? I didn't know he was that tall.
Yeah. Got all them nice hats and nice suits and shit. Then he always got on some high water tight breeches. You know what I'm saying? I think, but this is what people don't realize. Androgyny sells the most.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when I'm on IG or Facebook, now I know 85, probably 75% of the motherfuckers saying it just as an insult. Women all the time be like, "Oh, you feminine," or a man to be like, "That nigga gay." You know what I'm saying? So whatever it is about that profile shit could be showing in some of my mannerisms. I was raised around. I got fucking 8 aunts. You know, I was raised, but my uncles and grandfather was around. But I was around women all the time. Women taught me how to read. I could read before I entered school. Women taught me. So if I move my head or hands or whatever the fuck people seeing or whatever that chick saw, I don't give a fuck about that. You know what I'm saying? The further you go south, me personally, the further you go south, when I went to Alabama and Mississippi and certain places in South Carolina and Georgia, I was like, these men seem like they feminine, but I realized the further you go south, the more you're going to sound like your grandma. So them guys from deeper in the South, hey boy, man, and I was like, God damn, these niggas sound feminine, but you know, so it is what it. I don't let no shit like that bother me. Like I know I like women. I know my whole life I've liked women. I joke. One day somebody was on Facebook had got mad at me.
Are you Javon A. Clark or M. Clark on
M. Clark?
M. Clark.
Javon M. Clark.
Okay, he's asking me about your
Javon M. Clark Aggressive Church on YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah, so I remember it was this one day this person was they was like got mad at me on Facebook or something, and then they posted a picture of their friend, and their friend had did some chat or some shit, and they was like, he like men and he like booty and he's gay, and I was so happy because I was like, damn, I know I'm rising. I done got called gay. Like it's a gay rumor. That's
I
when
heard about that. I heard
blowing.
that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, that's when you know you're blowing. As soon as I made my post, yay, I got called gay, I'm blowing. She then came back mad. No, that's not you. He was talking about, it looked like you. You're not really gay. I'm like, damn, bitch, let me be gay. Shit, I want to blow.
I want to blow up.
Yeah, I'm telling. I said, bitch, as long as I've been online, popular talking, if I was gay, somebody that I fucked in high school or middle school, or cousin, I done molested, and somebody's supposed to say, this nigga molested me when I was a kid, or somebody's supposed to have some type of molestation or gay story on me.
Yes.
Yeah, boy, I seen some shit the other day. Charleston White done been popular enough. Right there, brother. That's the link right there. You should see him. Aggressive Church, Modern Masculine Man. Some chick, Charleston White cousin, say he penetrated her when he first got out of jail. I said, that's when you know you're really blowing. You got a cousin that said you molested her when she was a little girl.
Hold on. He's asking for your link. Now, I think you just gave it to me. Let me see. It's in the comments. Let me grab it. But again,
it's in the comments.
Gotcha. It's so crazy because I like Charleston White. I think people get very frustrated by him, but for me, I don't, because I'm like, you have to learn to be just in appreciation of what he's teaching, what he's saying, how he's coming.
I fuck with him. I mean, I agree with probably about 85% of the shit he say. I don't necessarily know if his motherfucking motives are, you know what I'm saying, what they was or what they are. But yeah, I agree with a lot of the shit the niggas say. What's going on, bro?
Peace.
How you doing, fam?
Man, I'm good, man. What's good?
I'm chilling, man. What you wanna add to the conversation, bro? Or did you have a question or anything?
Man, I just wanted to say I was digging the reading that Carl Nicole and then what you had, and I'm actually kind of involved in Living Soul as well too, the numerology system, and so it was kind of interesting to see like how you was connecting with the feminine, energy. A lot of people don't realize, man, there's a lot of brothers and men that have the feminine energy, but it doesn't mean that we're, like I said, that we're gay or anything like that. So I thought that was pretty cool that came out today to show like you had the androgynous quality and that feminine quality. So
yeah. That's what's up. The thing about me that don't affect me with something like that, cause I'm a big tall nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if I was 5'5" and a little bitty motherfucker, I might be like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I told my brother today, I said, man, I used to always joke. I said, I believe claiming gay, I just don't believe it's that many gay people. I just think it's a new way to especially in the white male liberal community. It's like when DEI, when white women and lesbians start getting the DEI benefits, all the liberal white men said they gonna turn to women so they can get some benefits too, because otherwise white men would have been marginalized. White men said, damn it, you got your big time white men that's born in the wealth, they don't give a damn. They don't never give a damn about that. But them regular old white boys, all them regular old white boys said, we got to turn to transgenders to get in the motherfucking thing. You know what I'm saying? So,
Leave it to Javon. I don't know where you came up with that.
Think about it. Who is always, what you got that will always turn man? You never see women turning into men. It's too hard. It's easier for a man to pose as a woman. So you got two groups of people that are always turn transgender. Po ghetto blacks, right? Po ghetto blacks, when it's hard to make opportunities for yourself, just let me turn into a goddamn woman, right? And then those liberal po white men. Think about it. And Magic Johnson's son.
Don't start. But what I love about about it though, when I did tell you you had zero masculine, you didn't even flinch. You weren't even. It didn't even roll any sweat off your back. You're like, yeah.
Well, because you said what it was. You said in the beginning, like, this is energy for the living soul shit. You explained this is not alpha, beta, none of that shit. You explained. And then this is what's so funny to me. I tell people all the time, I don't want to be no motherfucking alpha male. I'm not an animal. That's how you categorize animals. That's not how you categorize humans. You know what I'm saying? We individual, we social creatures, but we don't fucking run in packs.
Right.
It's
and
not
we're not a monolith either. We don't all feel like either.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, there's one thing about the energy we talking about. What I like about it, it takes different positions. I think you're saying like the androgynous dominant. So that's the position it takes. And when you say like the feminine submissive, that's a position it takes. And then you had an androgynous submissive. So it's like you got this energy from your archetypes, but then the energy takes position. Yeah. You know, so it's kind of like in the yin yang symbol, when we look at that, if you flip it and spin it around, the dots in there, they change position. Yeah. They rotate, you know, so a lot of people don't realize that. So the yin yang symbol, it floats around, which was inspired by the sun casting over a hill to show the shadows and the light, and it shows the energy take different positions. So it's interesting to see that, because we all take different position energetically. Like you had that submissive, it just says like, it's not like you can't jump out in the front, but but you like to be, I could support, influence all this going on without you would see my hands with it, but don't fuck with me, because I could sit there and exercise the influence I have, because that is a power. So like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I'm the type of person, let's say if it was 100 men on the island, and if I knew I was qualified to be the leader, I would let them choose me.
Yeah.
I would say, hey, look, I can build ships. Hey, I know how to hunt fish. I know how to swim good. We'll say we just be on the island, and after a few hours, they realize this nigga know how to hunt, fish, swim, everything. Hey, Javon, you need to be our leader. I'd be like, nah, man, nah, dog, not me, for real. And then I'd be like, I knew this shit an hour ago. Y'all just had to goddamn pick me. That's how I am.
Well, remember, Javon, you talked about this with you and Chris.
Mm-hmm.
You said that on Monday. You talked about how you just kind of you're the husband, but you also know that she might have certain things going on inside her that you kind of will correct. So Satori, tell him about the correct side of the living soul, because Javon brought this up on Monday on his show with Chris, his wife, because they have marriage Mondays, and he brought up about how it could be a challenge sometimes when she might go into her emotional waves. Explain how that can kind of be a challenge for him.
Oh, you said the correct. Well, I mean, the word is like, I like to use the word interplay, right? And so Javon, when I listen to the reading, right, he has the androgynous. So that androgynous nature already has the ability to go towards the middle. So like if a conflict arise, Javon more likely is going to be the first one to get to the middle to see it from an objective space without really adding his opinion. I mean, he'll switch sides because he got the submissive and the dominant. So he'll take a position, but he's not closed off because he's trying to understand and gather the data on how to mitigate the whole situation. And so that's kind of where, I don't know what you talking about his ladies. I don't know her numbers, but say for example, like she's got a lot of dominance. Even though he has a dominant, he's like, okay, we clashing right here. So his androgynous will make him be like, you know what? Let me get flexible. And then his submissive position, like, let me jump up under the situation. It's kind of like jumping in the swimming pool, like up in the water, you look up and it's all clear. Yeah. It's like, okay, I see what's going on. So I'll let her just get her rocks off. And after she does that, I'll have clarity on where she's coming from. And then I can kind of bring balance back to the situation. So that's the interesting thing about his about his whole number sequence, is that he can pivot there. He'll take a position, but he's not locked in. Some people get in a position they stay locked in, and you're fighting and bucking. That's not him. He knows how to take his position, but he'll be open, and that's what I call the interplay. So it's like, okay, this was going on. Okay, let me counterbalance this right here. So you might be
Yeah.
like, well, you know what, baby, I like when you say that. And she'd be like, oh, really? Yeah. And all of a sudden, she's no longer aggressive. He knows how to diffuse the situation.
No,
Yeah.
that's exactly how. Isn't that how it happened on Monday?
Yeah.
You were just
Yeah.
talking about that.
It's funny. It's funny because like I was saying earlier, the way he just explained it, it's kind of like this is and this is where the arrogance in me come out. I'm gonna get what I want. I'm gonna get my way every time. No, in any situation, I'm gonna get my way.
Right.
It's like we established, I could be a Jim Jones cult leader. I'm gonna get my way. If I had to acquiesce, if I had to interplay, I'm gonna. I don't understand. To me, everybody on earth should be like that. To me, it's like, and I don't consider that manipulation. I just feel like you should understand, acquiesce, push, da 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 da, until you get what you want. And it just, I don't understand. Like people would say that's manipulation, but I'm like, if I need her to understand me, for me to lead her, no matter what, throughout that conversation, if she has to feel like she won, if she has to feel like she taught me something, either way, when it's all said and done, my leadership is going to lead, and she's going to feel like that she was appreciated and listened to. That's just seemed like human courtesy in conversation to me. I don't look at it as manipulation.
Well, it's not. It's called it's called spiritual intelligence, social intelligence. You know what I'm saying? So everybody talks about emotional intelligence, but you have a high social and emotional and a spiritual intelligence because you're 6 and you're 3. You know what I'm saying? So with that, like, and so if we was to say masculine and feminine, all right, so you have androgynous, but there's 2 archetypes inside the androgynous piece that will favor more of the masculine or the feminine. So here's what's interesting with you, brother, is that the androgynous, you have 2 androgynous. You got the androgynous dominant, that soul seer it favors more of the feminine side. Even though it's androgynous in the middle, but it favors more the feminine side. And then the 3, your soul promoter favors the masculine side. So which is kind of interesting. So if you think about everybody talk about love language and stuff like that, but for people to understand that men show one way of loving and leading by giving validation.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? And so that's a masculine quality. That's a masculine form of leadership. I recognize the potential inside you, and I'm going to validate it. I'm going to build it up. I'm going to listen to the point to understand, where you're at, what you need, and then I'm going to put the support up under you to help launch you. That's masculine shit. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's masculine shit. And so you have a mastery of it. So for you, it is natural because you have a 3 and a 1, and it's just naturally in you. But unfortunately, some people, man, they're so locked into a polar side or whatever, and they just hard for them to see past their own interest. So that's the advantage you have with the double androgynous, is that you know what your interest is, but you also have the ability to see past it.
Well, we got a question. Chop Duke says, what are your thoughts on a woman having more than one husband? Before we get out of here, this caller has this concept called meogamy. Explain it to her real quick in one sentence what meogamy is.
Meogamy. So meogamy is not campaigning poly or monogamy. I just believe that you can decide based upon where you are as far as who you are in your relationship with yourself. So what that means is I might have connections with multiple men, or as she's asking about multiple husbands, you can do that. Or just like you, Javon, you have an open marriage with your wife, or you could be monogamous with someone. You don't know until you're involved with someone. So I always just say, don't care about claiming any of it. Just claim that you're meogamy, which means it's based upon what you are in that arrangement with each other. And then check this out. For her question, what my thoughts are is 1 or 2 ways to relate: functionally or dysfunctionally. So when you're coaching with me, I don't care about what you're doing in your relationship, how you're rolling, how many lovers you got or whatever. I care about, are you functional? Are you treated well with each other?
In other words, she's saying you can be a little country, you can be a little rock and roll. We got to get out of here, man. I appreciate you for coming on. I appreciate y'all, family. I got to get up. I got to go to work. Miss Carla, I'm going to holler at you. Y'all stay tuned in, tapped in, and turned on. Peace.